How's it going, PE 552? This is Zachary Perez, and this is my video response for the History and Philosophy of Sport Physical Education video. The first question asked is, what is the American attitude towards rules? Oriard says that can be easily seen in athletic competition, also manifests itself in business, law, and other institutions. I definitely think it does. Oriard went out and claimed that Americans wish to exploit the rules more than they want to adhere to them. Even though they have basically instilled all these rules into sports, we always try to find ways to get around them. And I think that is very prominent in college athletics. We kind of see this with school punishments and how the NCAA kind of handles all these punishments, back then we had the SMU case where, they considered, banning the entire, football team because of paying players and all that. But, you kind of see this go on nowadays, and it's like, in schools like Clemson or Alabama or, schools like USC paying players and giving them money. They're major college programs and they're big for entertainment, but they don't necessarily receive the same punishment. They got scholarship strips for them, but they never considered ending that football's program like they did back then. So, you can definitely see the rules change and progress throughout the years and how the NCAA kind of handles situations like that. And I think how the NCAA handles things kind of trickles down to how, schools and universities handle individual punishments for their student athletes. When a star player kind of gets into some sort of trouble accepting money or does a disciplinary action that isn't acceptable, you kind of find that star players kind of get more leeway than an average person might be. At a smaller mid-major Division I, a kid might get kicked off a team and might have to find a new home. To where, if it's a star player, he might get suspended 6 games and then be back at a home game where, thousands of students can see him participate. So I think understanding that, sports like basketball and football are, major entertainment for Americans kind of gives access to those loopholes for star players, star universities, and just how the NCAA handles things as a whole. The next question asks, to what degree does sport reflect society and society reflect sport? I think sport definitely reflects society in a big way. Oriard claims that Americans kind of created football to be different from other European sports like rugby and soccer. And that kind of speaks on America's desire to be different, their desire to be independent, just like in societal terms, they didn't want to be part of part of the European culture and European activities. So just seeing them want to be independent from, other European countries in terms of sports really speaks volumes on how they embrace themselves society-wise. And we also see this in other sports like basketball. Basketball doesn't adhere to the same rules that other European professional sports do. You see this when they go into the Olympics. The U.S. doesn't necessarily follow the same format, the same time frame, and also just the same game rules that other European countries and Olympic rules. So that's definitely interesting. I think that's a direct reflection on our society and how we want to be different, how we want to be independent, and kind of just have a mixture of all our diversities and that America presents. How does society reflect sport? I definitely think, just being around sports and being a referee around sports, it basically reflects how individualistic we are. You see this in recreational sports a lot. Um, it's really not about the kids anymore. Uh, the parents want their kid to be the best person or the best player, and parents go crazy at these recreational events. You see parents getting in fights, and I think that really speaks volume of how individualistic we are as a society. Um, because half these kids kind of don't even know what's going on at a young age. They just want to play sports. They just want to have fun. They just want to be in a group setting. So I think, unfortunately, um, it definitely shows how individualistic we've become. That parents are, you know, idolizing their kids or using their kids as a spotlight for their attention. And it's something that I hope we can eventually get away from, and that we can better ourselves from in the future. So thank you guys for listening. I'm interested in seeing what you guys have to say. Let's have a good week, everybody.